Even during a pandemic, without losing a beat, the Gray House in Springfield's North End continues the mission set by the Sisters of St. Joseph more than 35 years ago to help the neighbors struggling with food insecurity and poverty. Recently, the challenge for this small agency, funded in part by the annual Catholic Appeal, was to replace a successful leader while meeting an increasing demand for services. Kathy Harrington introduces us now to the new executive director of the Gray House.
Since a group of Sisters of St. Joseph came up with the idea to turn a rundown 17-room Victorian house in Springfield's North End into a center dedicated to serving the needy, the Gray House has been alive with the voices and laughter of children and adults learning to speak English. But in the wake of the deadly COVID-19 crisis, the constant comings and goings of the house have slowed. Instead of children gathering for kids' club or families lining up at the marketplace, instead of homework help, language and literacy classes, the past 8 months have been about transitions. That includes the unexpected change at the top, a new executive director.
I actually became acquainted with the Gray House at my previous job at Western New England. I was the assistant director of student volunteerism, and I brought a group of students here for one of the Friday night distributions.
Kristen McClintock knew there was something very special about the Gray House in 2018, within hours of volunteering there. And when she learned the search was on for a new executive director, she says her heart leapt.
I was like, this is my dream job. This is the job that I was born to do. And so,
a New Hampshire native, McClintock says her husband's educational path took them to Oregon and Texas before landing in Springfield with a PhD to teach at Western New England University. They have 2 sons, ages 11 and 14.
But all of our family and friends are back in New England, so this is where we wanted to settle and this is where we'll stay. I remember when I got the call from the board president saying that they were offering me the position, it was one of the happiest days of my life.
This may be her dream job, but her challenges grow weekly to meet the increasing needs of the North End neighborhood.
So I started in May, so we were kind of in that transition. They had done a really great job right after the pandemic happened in March with transitioning our market to a contactless curbside distribution method.
Now heading into winter, McClintock is seeking funds to continue the curbside distribution.
It's been a really great addition to our program. We're able to serve more people per hour, and it's more dignified than having people outside wrapped around the house in the cold weather. That's one of our biggest concerns, is as the cold weather hits, a lot of our clients don't have the appropriate clothing to keep themselves safe.
The North End of Springfield is one of the poorest neighborhoods in Massachusetts, says McClintock. With a poverty level of more than 45%, the residents are suffering even more in the pandemic because so many work in low-paying minimum wage jobs, most impacted by the economic fallout.
So what we're seeing is every single week, new faces come through, people who have never had to rely on food assistance before, coming for the first time because they aren't able to make ends meet and they don't have food to put on the table for their families.
In just 6 months, the Gray House served more families than in all of 2019.
We just have to continually evolve and adapt and be nimble and quick and respond and not delay, because the need is there. And if we aren't there to help these people, then, they're going to suffer, and that's not what we want.
Long the host of an after-school homework help program, the Gray House was successful in moving the Kids Club online.
All the students were given a Chromebook by the schools, so they do have access to technology, which has been wonderful.
Keeping up with their English education is important to the adult clients of the Gray House. They know it's essential to find work, become integrated into the community, and to be advocates for their children. But since many adults do not have access to technology, modifications were made.
We're really set up so that as the colder months come, when students come, we check their temperatures, we make sure they aren't exhibiting any signs of illness, and then they're able to enter the building. And again, our classrooms are set up for social distancing. We have physical barriers so that everyone can remain safe.
A grant from the annual Catholic Appeal is only part of the funding necessary for the operation of the Gray House. The yearly spaghetti dinner is another 10% of its budget, but it too was impacted by COVID.
We transitioned to a no-show spaghetti supper, and although we fell a little bit short of our goal, we really were very impressed. The community, really responded generously.
McClintock also led the team to a safe distribution of their winter coat giveaway, and they're preparing for curbside turkey pickup in time for Thanksgiving.
I want to be able to adapt our programming to meet all of these challenges that we're facing so that we can continue to serve our community. So that's my ultimate goal, is that I want the Gray House to be a beacon of hope and peace and encouragement to the community.
McClintock says she comes to work excited every single day, and she never ever leaves feeling that she failed to accomplish something good. For Reel to Reel, I'm Kathy Harrington.
This year, the Gray House received a $20,000 grant from the annual Catholic Appeal. Given the growing increase in customers for the marketplace at Gray House, the funds are very much needed.